All right, welcome. Today we're diving into the absolute fundamental building block of all AI, the single neuron. Now, it might sound almost too simple, but you're about to see just how much powerful stuff you can build with just one.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? We hear about these massive AI models with billions of neurons, but what can just one of those little guys do all by itself? The answer, it turns out, is a whole lot. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with what a neuron actually is, then we'll see how it can predict numbers and make simple choices. After that, we'll cover the super important step of prepping your data, and then we'll look at the modern shortcut that makes all of this way easier than you'd think.
Okay, let's kick things off with part one, the power of a single neuron. We're going to pop the hood and see exactly what makes this thing tick. It's one thing to talk about neurons in the abstract, right? But most of us work with data in tables. Rows and columns in a database or spreadsheet. How does a neuron even begin to understand that format? Well, it's actually a surprisingly direct translation. Think of it like this. Each column in your table becomes an input to the neuron. And for each input, there's a weight, which is just a number that tells the neuron how important that input is. The neuron multiplies each input by its weight, adds them all up along with one extra number called a bias, and then, finally, passes that grand total through something called an activation function to get the final result.
And what's amazing is that with just that simple setup, a single neuron can do two really fundamental jobs. The first is what we call regression. That's for answering questions like how much or how many. Think predicting a house price. The second is classification, which is all about answering is it this or is it that, like figuring out if an image is a 1 or a 0. Okay, let's tackle that first one. Teaching a neuron how to predict continuous numbers. This whole process is called linear regression. So how does that actually work? Let's get practical. How does a neuron take a bunch of data about houses and somehow learn to spit out a reasonable price prediction? The goal is really straightforward. The neuron tries to find the absolute best combination of those weights and that bias to make its predictions as close to the real prices as possible. That process of guessing, checking the error, and then adjusting the weights to do a little bit better next time, that is what we mean by learning. Take a classic example like the Boston housing data set. The neuron takes in features or columns, like the local crime rate or the average number of rooms. Its job is to learn how much weight to give each of those factors to nail the final prediction for the home's value. All right, so that's predicting numbers. Now let's switch gears and move on to our second task. This time, we're teaching the neuron to be a sorter, to make a choice between two different things. Predicting a price kind of makes sense. It's just a number on a spectrum. But getting a definite yes or no answer, that feels like a totally different beast. How can that same simple neuron handle a binary choice? And you'd think it would be super complicated, but the secret is actually, well, it's incredibly simple. The inputs, the weights, the bias, all of that stays exactly the same. The only thing we change is that very last step. We swap out the activation function for a special one called the sigmoid function. So what does this sigmoid function do? It's pretty clever. It takes whatever number the neuron calculates. It could be a huge positive number or a big negative one, and it just squishes it down so it fits perfectly between 0 and 1. And why is that useful? Because now you have a probability. A result of 0.9 could mean there's a 90% chance that the answer is yes. So we've got these two powerful techniques, but before a neuron can learn a single thing, we have to do what is maybe the most important step in this entire process. We've got to prepare the data. Does that mean I can just, export a table from my database and just dump it straight into the neuron model to start learning? Not so fast. There are two crucial things you have to do first. Number one, you have to normalize your features. If you have one column with numbers in the millions and another with numbers between 1 and 10, that big column is just going to dominate everything. So you scale everything to a common range, like 0 to 1, to give every feature a fair say. And second, you have to encode your labels. A neuron doesn't understand words like yes or no, but it definitely understands 1 and 0. Okay, so we've got the theory, the applications, and the prep work. Now for the part that makes all this possible without needing a PhD in mathematics, the tensorflow shortcut. Yeah, this whole learning thing, where the neuron just automatically finds the best weights by minimizing its mistakes, It sounds a little too magical. There's gotta be some serious math hiding under the hood, right?
Oh, yeah, you are 100% right. The main algorithm that makes this work is called gradient descent, and it is pure calculus. To figure out exactly how to adjust the weights to get better, you have to calculate how the error changes as each weight changes. And in math speak, that means finding partial derivatives, just like this scary-looking formula here.
So, wait, are you telling me I have to actually write code for that from scratch just to get a single neuron to predict a house price? And this is the beautiful part. You could do that, or you could use a library like TensorFlow, which takes all of that complex calculus and boils it down to a single line of code that basically just says, hey, TensorFlow, please minimize the error for me. That's it. All the complexity is handled for you. So we've seen how even one neuron can be a powerful tool that learns from data to make predictions and classifications, which really leaves us with one final, huge question. If a single, simple neuron can already do all of this, what on earth can a billion of them do when they're all connected together? And right there, that's the jump into the world of deep learning. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more like it, please hit that like button, share it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for tuning in.